Hello everybody, my name is Stuart Glasson. I'm a program manager with the Dynamics NAV team, and I'm here to show you one of our How Do I videos. This topic's about the ability to refresh a parent part with a new property we've introduced in the development environment called update propagation. So let's jump into it right away. At the end of this video, we want you to be able to understand a new way of keeping two different individual page parts linked together and then synchronized with refresh. So the examples that we use in this are, if you imagine a header and subform or subpage example, like you have with a role center and with parts associated with it, fact boxes, or in the example of a workbook, a document part where you've got the classic header and lines. And with Dynamics NAV today, if you have a change which affects the information on a line tab, then you don't get that change reflected in the header part of the tab without pressing refresh or the shortcut key F5 to see that. So what we want you to understand here with this example is where would you use this, and then how do you use it? How are we going to code this? Let's have a look at what the steps are. The first step, as ever, is to identify the data sources that you're going to be working with. So in the demo today, we're going to make our own base tables for this, but probably you'll be working with an existing solution which has its own tables defined already. The next step is to identify the pages which are going to be responsible. In this case here, we're going to be using a header and a subform example. The next step is to apply the update propagation property and also include a current page refresh code call so it'll work, and then we'll test it to see how it goes. So let's jump into the demo and see how that goes. Now I'm going to flip over here to the development environment. And here, the first thing I'm going to do is make a new table. The first table I'm going to make is going to hold the line information in my page. So I'm going to make a new table. First one is called int, and this is going to be an integer for the primary key. Value is a decimal, and then that's the table that I want to use here. So yes, I want to save the table, and I call it 50,006, which is a free object in my range. Subtable. Great. Okay. Now I need to make the main table. So I'll do a new table again, and I'm going to have another int. And then I have a total field. And the total is also going to be a decimal, but in this case, it's not going to be a value that we get from input. I'm going to do I'm going to do view, the properties for this. And then instead of making it a data entry point, I'm going to come to field class, specify it as a flow field, and then the calculation formula for this is going to be the sum of the values in the other table where the decimal value was. So what we're going to do is we're going to sum from the sub table, and we're going to look up the field we want to sum from. There's our value. Now we can click OK. And what we get here is that the value in the total field will actually be the sum of the values from the sub form. So I can close this one out now, save this as 5005 main table. Great. Now I can make my page. And as we did before, the first page that we're going to make is going to be the sub page. So this is going to be based on sub table as our data source. And I'm going to make a list part. There's the list part. Using the wizard, I click OK. I select all of the fields that I want to be on there, and I can finish my page. And it looks like this. This is what I want. It'll be a group with two fields in it, integer and the value field. Great. So now I can close this page. 5006 and sub page. Now I can make the main page to go with this, and it's going to be on main table, and I want to use a document page type. Document page type is a classic page type for when you want to mimic with the header and sublines, subform arrangement. So now I can click OK. And what I get is I get my first tab. Yes. All I really need is my total value there. And then I could do finish. Now I get my page with the total field. And what I also need to do now is I need to add a page. Sorry, not page. I need to add a part, which is a page. And this one here is going to reference the subpage that we looked at. So back again to view, properties. And the page part ID that we want to have here is sub page. So that's great. Now if I click this one here, I need to remember to indent this, otherwise it'll show up in the wrong part of the page. And if I wanted to, I could click preview to see that I've got the right thing here. And now we get our first look at the pages that we've built using the development environment. And this is what I want. I've got a total field and I've got the sub page here, which contains the fields integer and value. What I want is for us to be able to input values into these values here, and then the total will display. So let's have a look at how that works now at the moment. So I can close this. Yes. 5005. Main page. Great. I need to do a little trick just to get started though. I need to add a bit of demo data to the first table, otherwise it won't work. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just add some demo data to the main table. I need to add that very first record. So here it's launched. And it's popped up on another screen, so I'll just drag it back over here. And I'll do 0 and I'll do 1. 1 or 10. Fine. 10 and 0. Okay, now we've committed that. Now we can go back to our pages and run our page to see what we get from that. Here's our page. So here we go. We can edit, put values in here, and if I put value 1, 1, and 2, 2, 3, 3. As you can see, as I put that data in there, the total isn't updated. It is updated if I hit refresh. There's my value 6. But what we want to do, but this is the behavior of NAV at the moment, and so the whole point for this feature was to take this example and then make it automatically refreshed. So what I'm going to do is close this and go and add the new property and some code. So the first thing that I need to do is design the main page again. I find my part and I go back to the properties window and I find the new property we've added here called update propagation. At the moment it says when you refresh, only refresh from the main page down. Don't take refreshes from the sub page back up to the main page. So we need to change this to both, which basically says when there's a refresh on a sub page, make sure that the main page is also updated. So that's great. We can do that. There's update propagation. Now we can close this. Yes, I want to save it. But we do need to add a line of code to make the refresh automatic. So in the sub page, now I can design this. And I come down to my field, which didn't work. So I'll do view, code. And in the onValidate trigger, I'm going to do a current page update. There we go. So hope you saw that. Save it. Now let's run our page again. We hit run. We'll see the same data we entered before. But as I put new data in, keep an eye on that total. So 4 and 4. And now I hit enter and it should jump 10, 5, 5, 15, 6, 6. And this is what we're after. So now we've got an example of a sub page where on the trigger for the onValidate, we're calling refresh on the page. And because of the update propagation, we can take refresh information with us back to the main page and have a great display up there. So that's the example that we've seen there. Thanks very much for sitting through my video. That's how you do it. I hope you have a great time playing with this, and I hope you can make a lot of great business solutions with great compelling UI in it for our customers. Thanks a lot for listening to my video. Goodbye.